guys, so for today's video, I was scrolling on Pinterest trying to get some inspo for some nails that I could do, and I saw this picture. I'll put it on screen. I saw this picture of like metal, and it's like, I don't know, welded metal or like melted metal. I don't know like correct terminology when it comes to like how this looks, but I thought it looked really cool and would make for a really cool like nail design. So I'm gonna try to create this metal look on these nails. Not 100% sure how I'm gonna go about doing this, but hopefully I can figure it out. But to start off, since I want that metal look, I am going to use chrome for this design. So to start off, I'm going to paint all these nails black with the black from Ballpit, and I'm only gonna do one coat of this, I think, because I feel like I'm gonna have to do a bunch of different layers on these nails, and I don't want them to get like super thick and chunky. So I think if I just do one coat of the black here to start off, that will help a little bit with that. Okay, so now that I have these all painted, I am going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. Okay, so now that those are cured, I'm going to apply this Varnail 2-in-1 Chrome top coat on to the nails. This works really well for applying chrome. And then I just have this silver chrome. I hope this is my silver chrome. It looks like it is. It doesn't look like it's a hollow chrome, but I don't know. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to tell, but I'm hoping that that is the silver one and not the hollow one. I'm pretty sure it is the silver one though. It doesn't look like it has any hollow in it. And then I just have a paper towel down to catch any of the fallout from the chrome. Also, whenever I do chrome, I do one nail at a time. I have seen others like go through and like, if they were doing this, they would top coat all of the nails, cure them, and then put the chrome on. But anytime I've ever done that, like I would start here with the pinky nail, and then by the time I get to like each nail that I do, like the chrome doesn't stick as well So by the time I get to the thumb, like, the chrome is barely sticking onto the nail, or it's like super grainy. So I always just do one at a time, because doing it all at once just does not work for me for some reason. And then I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds with this 2-in-1 chrome top coat. It's a 2-in-1 chrome top coat because you can use it for chrome, but you can also use it as a regular top coat. And if you're using it for chrome, then you only cure it for 30 seconds. But if you're using it as a top coat, then you cure it for 60 seconds. So since I am using this for chrome, I'm just going to go ahead and cure this for 30 seconds. Now I'm just going to rub the chrome on. And whenever I do chrome, like, I really press it in there and like really scrub it in. I feel like that gives me the best effect and gives me that smooth, shiny chrome look instead of that like kind of glittery, grainy, metallic-y sort of look. It also helps to get rid of a lot of the excess chrome off the nail. So I just kind of go in and scrub it really well, and then I will take a fan brush and dust off any remaining excess chrome that is left behind. And there you have a nice shiny silver chrome nail. And if you wanted to leave it like that, then you can just go ahead and top coat it. I am going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds because I did only do a 30-second cure on that top coat that I used. And like I said, it's 60 seconds for like using it as an actual top coat. So you're like partially curing that, and if you are partially curing whatever you're using to get the chrome to stick, then you do have to put it back in the lamp after you get the chrome on and fully cure it. That way you don't have any uncured gel. So I am going to go ahead and put this in for 60 seconds to make sure everything is completely cured. Now usually I would go ahead and like do all the nails all at once, but I want to do a little bit of testing here. Instead of like doing all the nails all at once, I have 3 different options here to get that texture and that look of the metal that I feel like could work, maybe. All 3 of these work with chrome, and I've used them all with chrome before. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna go with one of these for this, or test out all 3 of them to see like what gives me the best results. This Macart Sculpted Gel Paint, it is a really thick, like 3D gel, and it's clear. So I mean, it's not like it really matters because I already have the silver down, so, and then I'm gonna put more silver on top of it, so like it doesn't really matter that this is clear. But I feel like this could work really well, And I think it being 3D, or like being able to create the 3D effect with this would be really well, because looking at the picture, it is kind of, you know, textured in 3D. So I feel like that would work. But also, this is my go-to for chrome designs. I feel like this could work too, and I feel like I would have a little bit more control with this and could better like get the designs that I want, because I would have more control over it. Because I feel like with 3D stuff, sometimes you don't have the most control with it. It can be a pain in the butt and like doesn't want to go where you want it to go and kind of just has a mind of its own. So that's why I'm thinking this one. But then I also have this black 3D embossing gel here from Madam Glam, which is kind of the same as this, but a little bit different. It's kind of like, honestly, I feel like if you were to mix these two together, you'd get this. This is definitely more 3D, I feel like, than maybe this. Although, I don't know, I haven't really done much with this. I've just kind of like painted it on the nail and then done like little squiggles on the nails with nail art brushes, but I don't know. I feel like this would also work as well. I really am leaning more towards using the black ones though, because even though, like I said before, it doesn't matter that this is clear because I'm putting the silver on top of silver. I don't know, I just feel like having the black underneath is going to help more with like the silver on top standing out from the silver underneath, if that makes any sense. But I do want to try them all because, like I said, I don't know what's gonna work and what's not. So I'm actually going to start with this black embossing gel, because this one I am honestly questioning the most, because I'm kind of like, I don't know how well this is going to work for what I want to do. And you can see here, it is super thick in here. It doesn't move, it doesn't come out. This is really good for 3D stuff. I also have a white one, I think it's white. Yeah, they have a black and a white one. Actually, I don't even know if they still make these. If they do, I will obviously have it linked down below. Also, I do have a discount code with Madam Glam, so if you ever are purchasing anything from Madam Glam, you can use my discount code, save yourself a little bit of money. So I'm just taking a little bit of it. And really, I don't think that's enough to be like 3D or anything, but I'm just gonna take some of this on this brush. It's like a gel applicator brush. It's from LGN. It's the oval number 4. And I am just going to kind of smush this on maybe in like different ways. I feel like, oop, too much. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing here or the best way to go about getting this look, so I'm just kind of, I think I might have done a little too much here. Oop. Oh well. I'll figure it out. I don't know. That kind of, I think I need to be a little more precise with it and not be so chaotic. Can you even tell what's going on camera? I don't know. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna cure this. I actually don't know how long I need to cure this to get the chrome to stick. I think I'm gonna do like 15 seconds. That's usually how long I need to cure something. So I'm gonna cure this for 15 seconds and rub the chrome on and we'll see how it looks. Okay, actually, once the chrome is on, it doesn't look that bad. I was questioning when it was just the black smushed all over, but with the chrome on, it's actually kind of giving that metal look. I do think I need to do some more layers on it, but that actually doesn't look too bad. Also, I'm going to cure this for the full 60 to make sure that that is fully cured, and then I'll do another layer of that. That's what this nail looks like. I do need to put it back in and cure it for 60 seconds, but I think this looks really good. And I think this definitely gives like that metal look. Like I said, I do think I need to be a little more strategic on the placement of the gel, but overall, I think this came out really well. And I feel like if I did a couple more layers, like I could get a little more going on here, but I do kind of like how it looks like this, so I'm gonna leave it like this. I am going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds, and then we'll test out the next gel. I went ahead and applied the chrome to the rest of the nails just so I could have that done and out of the way. But now for this one, I'm gonna test out the Emo Black liner gel. After using the embossing gel, I'm actually a little bit nervous about this one because while this is a thicker gel, because it's a liner gel, it's not thick like a 3D gel, so I'm not gonna get those 3D elements and like the texture that I want, I don't think. But we're gonna test it out, we're gonna see. I don't know why I was so nervous about the embossing gel and why I thought it wasn't gonna work, but it actually worked really well. Ooh. Oh, that was way too much. Okay, there we go. See, that's how I want it to look, kind of streaky. That is just a solid patch here, except for right there. Maybe I can drag some of that like that. I'm gonna just leave it like that. Don't know how I feel about this, but I didn't know how I felt about the embossing gel before I put the chrome on, so I'm gonna cure this for 15 seconds, then put the chrome on. Yeah, that definitely didn't give me what I was wanting. I mean, you can definitely see the brush strokes since I put the chrome on top, but because it's not 3D, it's definitely not. I wonder, let me try doing it kind of similarly to how I did the first one, where I kind of just smushed it. Also, this gel is super pigmented, so it's like really hard to get like streaky or like splotchy patches like I'm trying to do here. I just basically covered that entire first layer up, but whatever, it's fine. I just let that cure for way too long. Hopefully the chrome still sticks. Okay, it is. I was not paying attention at all. Yeah, that's not... I mean, it kind of does give the effect, but it's super subtle. You can barely see it. But I mean, if that's what you're going for and you want it all the chrome all over my hand. Anyhow, if you're wanting super subtle, like you want the little bit of texture, I mean, you can't even feel the texture, but you can see the texture. Like, if that's what you're going for, then this works for that, but the first one definitely looks a lot better and definitely gives what I'm going for. So I'm probably, if I continued layering on top and add more and more layers of this on top of it, it could work, but also I don't want to add 50 layers of that. So we're gonna move on and try this sculpted gel paint. This one is the one that I had like the most hope in, and what I originally was going to use for this design and I wasn't going to test out all these other gels. But then I remembered I had these other gels and I'm like, I should test these out and see. But this one is the one that I'm like, this one's gonna work. Especially with like getting the texture. Because I've used this before to get like textured nails, so. I will say though, I don't know about the color. Because it's clear, I don't know like if that's going to change at all how it looks, because it's just gonna be like silver on silver instead of like silver on black. So I don't know. We're about to find out though. I think I like doing this kind of tapping motion. I think I like how that looks more than like painting it and like squiggling it. I don't know. We'll see. And then I'm gonna cure this for the full 60 seconds. This one definitely gets cured for the full 60 seconds before you put the chrome on. That looks pretty alright. I don't think, like I said in the beginning, I really didn't think like the fact that it was clear was going to have any, like cause any problems. I don't really think there's a huge difference. Actually, looking at them side by side, there is kind of a difference there. On it, the chrome being on the black versus being on the clear. Okay, so there is a little bit of a difference, but I don't know. It's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do a second layer of this. I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of smush it on, because I do like how that looks. I'm actually trying to focus more in the middle, kind of where I already put the gel. See how that kind of looks? What kind of effect that gives? That's how that looks. Yeah, no, I think this first one here is the best. I think the black embossing gel from Madam Glam ended up being the best option out of all of them. This, whatever it's called, the McCart one, it works. It does work and it looks good. It gives the 3D texture and everything that I want, but color-wise, it's kind of lacking. Like, the black gives more dimension and, like, depth to the color, whereas the clear just kind of falls flat with the clear. So Yeah, also, I don't know, I kind of think I didn't do the best with this. It's not really giving, I mean, it kind of does give metal. I think it's because I think this one looks so weird to me because it's the clear and not the black. I just feel like the black, even this one, because I put it on the black liner gel, it, you know, looks different. And it just looks, I don't know, like a deeper silvery chrome, you know? This doesn't look bad. Like, if this is kind of what you're wanting, then, but yeah, that one's the best. So I'm gonna go over this one with the black embossing gel, and then I'm gonna finish these two off with the black embossing gel as well. I might add a little bit of this just to kind of get it to match the rest of what's going on. But I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I finished all of that. I did add some of the black onto this just to get it to match color-wise, because I was not feeling how that was looking. Loki, these look like aluminum foil. They look like, you know, if you get a burrito and it's like wrapped up in the foil. That's Loki what these are looking like right now. But I think I want to take some of this shading gel and apply this to them just to darken them up a little bit and maybe fill in like some of the dips in like the crevices and craters and whatever in there. I feel like that would help to give it more of this metal look that I'm going for. We're gonna see. I'm gonna test it out on the pinky nail. I have no top coat on any of these nails because I want this black to get in all those little creases, and I feel like if I were to top coat it, that it would get filled with the top coat and not with the black like I want. So I just put a little bit of the black, that shading gel, on my palette, and I scooped up just a small amount. And I'm just gonna kind of lightly brush it over this nail. I can probably be a little more heavy-handed with it. The shading gel is super light. I'm just gonna go both ways with it to make sure that like it's getting in between, or getting in like all those creases from both angles. Okay, did that make any kind of difference? I feel like it made a little bit of a difference. Made it a little darker. I think I can add more. I think I can go a little bit heavier with it. Not too much heavier, but I think I can go a little bit heavier with it. Since this is just like a sheer black. Okay, I think that did something. It's honestly kind of hard to tell. But I think, yeah, when you see it next to the rest of these, hopefully you can tell on camera, but when you see it next to it, you can definitely see a difference. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all of these nails. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. Okay, so now that those are cured, I need a top coat, but I don't know. Should I do shiny top coat or should I do matte top coat? Because like in the picture, it's like a shiny matte type of look. I don't know. I'm gonna go with matte. I'm gonna try matte. We're gonna see how this looks. And hope it looks good, I guess. Should I just test out the pinky nail and see if it looks good? I think I am. Ooh. Okay. Let me make sure this is wiped off really good. Actually, I don't know. I mean, these aren't top coated, but like they're kind of shiny. And then this one's matte. Kind of like the matte, but I also kind of don't like the matte. I feel like with the matte top coat, you can really see all like the texture and everything, whereas it does get a little lost being more shiny. Even though I know these aren't top coated yet, but they are more shiny than that. You can also really see like the black on there pooled in, on this one with the matte, where I feel like it's harder to see. I think I'm liking them shiny better. I don't know. The matte's kind of funky. I'm gonna shiny top coat all of these and hope that that's the right move. Because just looking at this one nail being matte, like, that looks weird, right? Although, I don't know. Nope, I'm doing it shiny. Yeah, I definitely think shiny was the way to go with this set. It just looks a lot better shiny than it did matte. These are so cool. I really like them. They're not, you know, exactly like the picture, but close enough. They look like metal. And they look less aluminum foil-like after adding the black on there. So I think that was a really good move. They came out really cool though. I'm really happy with them. I think maybe the thumb came out the best and looks the most similar to the picture, maybe? I don't know, they're just super cool. They're different. You could add these in on like all different kinds of sets. Like use them as like accent nails, or you could have all 10 nails be like this. A really cool like grungy punk like rocker type of set with these thrown in would be really cool. Well, like, I don't know. I really like them. They're so fun and different. I definitely want to try this again and like try to better make it look like the picture. I feel like by the time I got to the thumb, I figured it out and was able to kind of really get how it looked in the picture. Whereas you can kind of tell here, I just kind of smushed things on. And like I said, when I did this one, I felt like I needed to be a little more precise with what I was doing and like not just throw it all on and have it be like super random. Which I was initially thinking, like I wanted that like organic kind of melty metal look, and I felt like doing it kind of like willy-nilly and like just kind of basically throwing the polish on would give me that, but it kind of did, but it also kind of didn't. Like it worked better when I was focusing and like actually trying to strategically place the gel in certain places and like do it certain ways in certain places, you know? So I think, yeah, I definitely think I need to be more precise with it and like be more strategic on how I do things and like where I place the gel and how I smush it and smear it and whatever. But yeah, I really like these. These are really fun, and like I said, there is a lot of texture still, even though I do have the black on there, and then I have the top coat. Even this one that has the matte top coat and the shiny top coat, it still does have a little bit of texture on it. But if you didn't want that texture, you could encapsulate these. You would still see it, but you wouldn't feel it. But I do kind of like feeling the texture a little bit. But also I think encapsulating them would be really cool. Because, you know, whenever you encapsulate stuff, it like magnifies it. So I think that would make this look even better, being encapsulated. But these are fun. I really like these. I really like these a lot. They came out way better than I was expecting them to. I'm glad I tested out the 3 different gels, because like I said, when I originally thought about doing this, I was just going to use the McCart one, but that ended up not looking the best because it was clear. I honestly didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but it kind of was. It definitely looked a lot better with the black. So if you are going to recreate this set, I definitely recommend using some sort of black 3D gel for it. And if you don't have a black 3D gel, you can just take like a rhinestone glue and mix in some black polish, and you'll get your black 3D gel that way. But if you are interested in a black 3D gel, I used the Madam Glam black 3D embossing gel. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure if they still have that or not. I will look and see. If they do, I will link it down below. If not, I don't know, you're gonna have to do some searching on black embossing gel or black 3D gel or something, because this is the only one that I have that I know about and can recommend. So yeah. But yeah, I'm super happy with how these came out. I really love them. They look super cool. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.